Good evening, dear sisters and brothers. Welcome to today's edition of Being Heartful Every Day. We are on day 143, week 21. And the quality for the week, as all of you are aware, is selflessness. This program is being organized as a part of the celebrations for Babuji Maharaj's 125th birth anniversary. So this is a year-long program. A very warm welcome to all of you. My name is Prasanna Krishna. I'll be facilitating today's session. Before we start the session, a very gentle reminder to everybody that we should share Daji's master classes to all our family and friend members who may not know about Heartfulness and who may not have started Heartfulness. I think we should share Daji's master classes with them. And also this program, Being Heartful Every Day, is being very well received by all practitioners of Heartfulness. So if you know of somebody who's practicing Heartfulness and want to benefit more from it, you can share the link to Being Heartful Every Day. So let's start the program. We'll be continuing where we left off yesterday. I'll just repeat the last paragraph we read. And after that, we'll continue with the flow. So Daji, prior to this, spoke about how the four subtle bodies, four components of the subtle bodies can be improved by heartfulness meditation. And now he says, if this could be achieved only through spiritual practice, everyone would reach the destination in no time at all. But does the ego easily move from selfishness to generosity of heart? Not without a fight. Do we easily trust the wisdom of our hearts, happily residing in a state of unknowing, dependent totally on something higher? That would mean ignoring the pros and cons of the rational mind that are dictated by our own principles and construct. It takes time to let go of all this and let consciousness soar into universality. It's a process that requires Yama and Niyama side by side with practice. Yet, with this transcendence, we experience real aliveness for the first time. What is aliveness? It means to live life with the heart. A life that is now connected to the eternal and the immortal. A life where there is neither bliss nor sorrow, neither pleasure nor pain. With such a transformation comes the wisdom to conduct a life with discipline or Yama. What is aliveness? This is the highlighted portion. What is aliveness? It means to live life with the heart, a life that is now connected to the eternal and the immortal. A life where there is neither bliss nor sorrow, neither pleasure nor pain. With such transformation comes the wisdom to conduct life with self-discipline or Yama. That is why in Heartfulness, we start with the last three limbs of Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga, Dharana, Dhyana, and culminating in Samadhi, so that we develop the inner capacity and the aliveness to then develop self-discipline and nobility. Inner transformation is the catalyst for bringing out a change. The other five limbs are then naturally supported by the newly cultivated balanced tendencies of the mind. This sequence is more practical than trying to refine character from the outer perspective of changing the persona, because behavioral change is most possible in someone with a well-developed manomaya kosha or mind sheath. It is certainly not possible for anyone who still has a heart of samskaras, of desires, wrong, fear, or guilt. It cannot be imposed artificially from outside and be real. This state of Yama brings of self-discipline is beautifully described in the yogic literature as being in this world, but not of this world, symbolized by the lotus that lives in the mud, but is not polluted by it, instead radiating purity and beauty. So these 5 O's of the seekers are for the living life brave, I'll repeat that. So these 5 O's of the speaker are for living life bravely and not straying away from a noble life. As you can see in the diagram, Yama involves 5 components: asteya, which is honesty; brahmacharya, which is moderation of senses; aparigraha, ahimsa, which is non-violence; and satya, being truthful. Let's explore them in more detail. The purpose of embracing heartfulness, non-possessiveness, moderation, honesty, and non-violence is to allow peace to prevail within. Peace is always there. That is our nature. It's only when we embrace lies, dishonesty, cruelty, violence, and selfishness to possess things that we lose peace. Moreover, if the peace becomes a means to achieve something else, then that very act will become a hindrance to our evolution. Non-violence, ahimsa. The first Yama begins with love. The fundamental divine law that governs life is love all. If the idea of hurting anyone or anything remains in the heart, we fail at the first step. People who intend to hurt others can easily become demons when they develop capacity. So it is important to love selflessly, unconditionally, and joyfully. This is the essence of ahimsa. But I feel there is something more to ahimsa. Practiced ahimsa may not permit you to hurt, which is fine. But there is a greater need to be compassionate, taking action so that the other is not only hurt, but out of compassion, the other is comforted. I think let's take a pause here to introspect on what we read today. I think a very meaningful section of the article by Daji, where he talks about how Yama, why the need for Yama, why the need for self-discipline, and what are the components of Yama. So let's explore this. I think this concept of non-violence, which he spoke about, is extremely important. Non-violence is easy, but like he says, compassion, which surpasses non-violence, that is more important. I think that's a very, at least I find that very interesting to think over, because many philosophers, thinkers suggest non-violence, including Mahavira in Jainism, Mahatma Gandhi. They talk about non-violence, but Daji throws more light on it and says, ahimsa is only a first step. Being compassion is the more positive part of the ahimsa. So let's introspect on this. 9 o'clock we'll start a prayer. Yeah, it's 9 p.m. now. Let's start a universal prayer. Let us sit comfortably, close our eyes, gently close our eyes, and try to get into a very prayerful attitude. And let's all pray that all brothers and sisters are being filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. As we have been discussing, the words are extremely potent, are pregnant with meaning, but I think we also need to supplement that with our attitude of heartfelt prayerfulness, that this should really happen. This is for the good of the universe. And that attitude, let's try to bring it in our prayer today, and pray that all brothers and sisters are being filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. हम अपना आंखें धीरे से बंद, हम आराम से बैठेंगे, अपना आंखें धीरे से बंद करके एक प्रार्थना की गहरी भाव में डूब जाएंगे, और ये प्रार्थना करेंगे कि सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं, और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है। जैसे हम बात कर रहे हैं पिछले 2-3 दिन से, इन शब्दों का तो बहुत गहरा मतलब है, बहुत बहुत गहरा मतलब है, पर उसको हम अपना हृदय की एक भाव से, बहुत गहरा भाव से, वो प्रार्थना की भाव से अगर जुड़ सकते हैं, तो अपना प्रार्थना बहुत बहुत खूब होगा। और हम एक गहरी प्रार्थना भाव में अपने दिल से भर के ये प्रार्थना करेंगे कि सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं, और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है। Let's continue our prayer still about 9:15. while trying to retain the prayerful condition we are in, let's gently open our eyes. With this, we come to the end of today's session. Before we close the session, I would like to gently remind everybody to do the bedtime prayer before going to bed, reflect on our daily activities, in a supplicant mood, beg forgiveness for any unintentional mistakes from our side, and resolve not to repeat it again. And after that, we say the prayer and go to bed. So let's do it every day. So thank you, a very heartfelt thanks to everybody for being together. Let's meet tomorrow at 6 a.m. Good night.